We all have a voice in our head, thoughts that are constantly interpreting, analyzing, commenting on reality, on what's happening. We almost never see the world as it is. We see it through the filters of our own thoughts. And freedom, true freedom, is when we stop believing those thoughts to be ultimately true. This voice in our head is so interesting, right? It can be so silent and in the background that we would almost think that it's not there. But when we become more aware, we realize that there has been this voice, these thoughts all the time in the background. And sometimes this voice is so loud that it's almost so annoying. It's too loud in our head. It's frustrating, right? And this voice is constantly interpreting what's happening. So, for example, if a friend of ours is not texting us back in the time they usually would, maybe for some of us, the voice is instantly jumping to, oh my God, what if I have done something wrong? What if they're upset with me? Maybe I need to send another message. Like creating a whole story around it, when maybe actually the person was just busy, our friend was just busy, and none of these things were actually happening. Or when we are with a person who's behaving a little bit differently than we're used to, and automatically our voice in our head is jumping to the conclusion that they're judging us. When actually maybe that person is so caught up in their own thoughts, in their own experience, and they're not judging us. It's just the story in our head. And of course, sometimes there are people who are judging us, and there are people who on purpose don't text back, right? But in that example, it was just the story of our own thoughts, the interpretation of our own thoughts. Or another good example is right now the snow. Because our thoughts, the filters of our thoughts, can not only be negative, even though most of the time they are negative, they can also be positive. So for example, right now with the snow, I could look around and the thoughts in my head, the voice in my head could go like, oh my God, I hate it when it's so cold. When is it finally going to stop? This winter has been forever. When is it finally going to be spring again? Or a positive interpretation would be, oh my God, I absolutely love winter. This makes me feel so much that my inner child is present, and I hope it's going to stay forever. And of course, the positive interpretation is beautiful. But there is even another way where we step out of any interpretation whatsoever. So for example, right now, I just look around and I don't even label anything. I don't even call it snow. I don't even call it white, the color I'm seeing. For a moment, I'm just taking in whatever I'm experiencing right now. The colors I'm seeing, the cold I'm feeling on my skin, the little snowflakes on my hands right now. But I'm not calling it anyway. I'm not labeling it in any way. I'm not calling it good or bad. I'm just taking it fully in, without a future, without a past. It is possible to step out of these thoughts, the voice in our head, right? But what is already enough is to simply observe it. We don't need to suppress it. We don't need to get rid of it. We don't need to do anything with it. It's just literally the past. It's a conditioning from the past. Thoughts conditioned inside of us, looping in our head, most of the time telling us exactly the same things. Like, I'm not worthy, I cannot do this, who do I think I am? Or whatever your thoughts are telling you. But whatever they're saying, do not take it as 100% true. Do not fully believe them. And that is freedom, when we learn to observe them, observe the voice in our head. That is true liberation. It doesn't need to be gone. We don't need to get rid of it. There is so much peace already simply in observing the voice in our head, knowing it's there, knowing the thoughts are there, not believing them fully, and just holding them in our unconditional awareness. So whatever your thoughts are telling you, it is not ultimately true. You're free already, right now.